beloveds. Yep. No. Okay, we're live. I'm going to say it again. Good morning, beloveds. All right. We are doing the science of mind, living the science of mind, which are a collection of essays from his take-home course from the back of the Science of Mind magazine. 2 of them are not. I don't know if they're going to tell us which 2 aren't, but, here we are. So that's what we're doing today. So let's get the housekeeping out of the way, and that's just me reminding you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. The website is creativelife.org. The constant contact email is info@creativelife.org. You get 1 email a week unless something unusual happens. Tells you what's going on for the week and the month. The hot links are hot, and nobody will get your email because it's a blind CC. So nobody's going to see your email. You want to know about anybody else's mailing list because of us. Now, with the social medias, we don't monetize them because we don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is go like, subscribe, share, follow, comment. It bumps us in the algorithms. More people see our stuff. We appreciate it. So did I say like, subscribe, share, follow, comment? Probably. If not, there, I just did it again. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark, depending on which social media you are on. And I am the running Rev Ryan on all of them. So that I'm on. So I would ask you to do the same for me. All right. I am currently archiving this on both channels. Hopefully it won't get away from me. I almost have the Voice Celestial finished on the Creative Life YouTube. It is done and has been done on mine with the links, but on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube, with all the links, I got a little bit behind because it's a lot of work. So, but here we are. Okay. I think that's everything. So let's get on with this. Get the light on, and we're looking at like a week of thunderstorms, so the light is already weird this morning. All right, so our title today is Let God Do It. Let's see what Ernest has to say. In the Colorado Rockies, there is a beautiful valley from which many fountains gush forth. Each fountain is different. More water comes from some than from others. But there is only one body of water at a deep subterranean level, which flows through each one of them. Each fountain is supplied from this body of water, and the water that gushes through each has a pressure within itself that causes it to flow upwards with an irresistible force. This may be likened to our own spiritual natures. We, as individuals, each have our own thoughts, feelings, hopes, aspirations, and desires, and each is directly and intimately connected with the one divine life, energy, and power. Each one of us is a fountain of life. There is a God pressure back of each one of us, a life force seeking outlet through our thoughts and acts. There are many fountains, many individuals, but only one God pressure back of it all. I have to say that's a pretty interesting metaphor there. One of the most remarkable sayings of Jesus was that he of himself could do nothing. The Father that dwelt in me, he doth the works. Could we not say of each fountain up there in the Rockies that the fountain of itself could do nothing because it is merely an outlet for the pressure back of it? Let us personalize these fountains and give to each the power to block the flow of water through it. One fountain might say, well, I don't know whether there is water enough. I am not quite certain that I am an outlet for this great ocean of water. I am not even certain that I believe there is enough pressure in it to keep on flowing. Perhaps it will stop tomorrow. Another fountain might say, I am so confused over everything. I am so uncertain about everything that I have come to the point where I really don't know what's going to happen. And another fountain might be so filled with fear and distrust that it would block its own channel, while still another might get jealous of the other fountains and gradually come to hate them. Let us make believe that these mental attitudes of the fountains could actually stop the water of flow through them. Would that not be about the way all of us are at times? We become so frustrated with our little thoughts and fears and doubts that it makes it impossible for us to let God flow through us with the joy of life. Our problem is not with God, who is the river of life. It is not with the divine pressure that seeks to express itself through us. Our trouble is with ourselves. Each one of us is an inlet for the divine, but because we are individuals, we can inhibit its flow. We can block it or squeeze it down to a small volume or even stop it by opening up all of the channels of faith and conviction and hope. We can increase its flow. When the natural joy of life is unblocked, it will flow freely through us and we shall become whole and happy. But doubt, fear, uncertainty, anxiety, and a sense of insecurity can so congest our mental life that nothing good can get through. We are born with a natural desire to express life. But almost from birth, certain factors have entered our experiences which have tended to congest the flow until finally it has almost stopped. We are trying to be fountains all on our own, not realizing that each one is rooted in God, that there is a power greater than we are, a pressure against our lives from a divine source that is self-acting. When Jesus said that a power greater than he was operating through him, he knew exactly what he was talking about. And because he kept the passageway of his own thought clear, this power was able to work through him. Jesus never made any complicated statements. His words were simple and direct. He said, "There's a fountain of life from which your life is drawn. And if you will stop everything in your mind that congests this fountain, you will be whole." This was the fountain of his teaching. Clear your mind of everything that doubts the existence of God. Live as though love were the great reality. Bless and curse not, and then accept and let. Accept and let. Let us use another illustration from nature and think of a great body of water up in the mountains. It is our desire to use this body of water to irrigate the valleys. We have learned that by a natural pressure within itself, which we call gravitational force, this water will flow from the high mountaintops down into the valley. But we have met with certain obstructions that are hills and perhaps mountains in the way. In the early days, when they brought water down into Rome, they built long channels around the mountainside. This was done with terrific labor. And then there came a time when someone discovered that water, by its own pressure, will reach its own level. They discovered that if they would connect a pipe with a high level, they could run water down through the valley and up over other mountains and hills. And provided they never tried to make the water go higher than its source, they could deliver it anywhere and in complete volume. There's a little physics to that too. But there is something else we should remember about bringing water down from the high mountaintops. No matter how large the source, the flow to any particular spot was limited to the size of the pipe through which it flows. If it is a 1-inch pipe, we shall have a 1-inch flow of water. If it were a 10-inch pipe, we should be able to deliver a 10-inch flow wherever we want to use it. But in no instance do we force the water down. We neither push nor pull nor draw it. It furnishes its own pressure. But suppose someday we go out to open the head gate through which the water flows and no water comes. What do we do then? Do we sit down and bemoan our fate? Do we lament and beat our breasts and say, woe is me? Do we say, perhaps God doesn't want us to have water today? Or do we question whether or not the water is withholding itself from us? Oh my God, I love this. This is so amazing. We do none of these things. We realize that somewhere the pipe is blocked. And so we follow it back and discover that sand has gotten into it, or mud or silt. We clean out the debris, and at once the flow resumes. This is why I love the science of mind. It really is one-on-one. It's like Ernest is sitting here talking to you. The flow did not stop of itself. It stopped because something got in its way. But we were able to remove the obstruction. We did this definitely and deliberately. We knew what we were doing and how to do it. We were complying with a natural law. And when we let the law have its way, everything was all right. This is pretty much what happens in our lives when they... Wait, hang on. Let me try that sentence again. This is pretty much what happens in our lives when they are unhappy and incomplete. Somewhere we have stopped the flow. The water is still up there in the mountains. The pipe is in place, but somewhere something has gotten in this pipe that does not belong there. So we turn on the faucet and nothing happens. Well, there is no use sitting around bemoaning our fate. It is time for us to do something about it. It is time for us to follow the pipeline of our own existence back to its source, to find out what blocks it and to loose it, to free it, so that the flow may resume. It is time for us to let God do it. But before God can do it, we must clear our minds of everything that hinders God's doing. We must keep the pipeline open and let the water of life flow down into our living. And remembering that everything in our thinking that is unlike our highest concept of good will clog the pipes. We must look to ourselves and be honest. If we find anything in our thinking that denies life, let us clear it away. We can stop being afraid if we want to. We can stop having resentments. We can at once stop all unkindness, winnow out every doubt, and gain faith through the simple practice of learning to believe. Here is where faith and patience and the will to try and keep on trying must be used. This is what I love about Science of Mind, is what we say is we don't teach you what to believe, we just teach you how. This is a perfect example. One can say to oneself every day, I am a fountain of life, and the living waters of God flow through me. One can say to oneself, I will express joy today. I will be happy. I will bring gladness and enthusiasm into every experience of my life. I will maintain a quiet confidence and peace and a sense of serenity, and I will be glad for the achievement of others and rejoice in their success. One can learn to love people if one wishes to. It is this kind of thinking that irrigates the dry places in life and brings laughter and joy into everything we do. It can bring health and freedom in place of sickness and bondage. It can bring abundance and prosperity where there might have been impoverishment. But there is one thing that we must remember. It is not enough to know that the pipeline of our existence begins way up there in the high mountains into which the hand of God is pouring the eternal life waters. For this is our inlet to the divine. This inlet is forever established. We must be certain that we are an outlet to it. And it is only as the other end of the pipe is kept open that the waters flow. This is why Jesus told us that we must forgive if we would be forgiven. We must love if we would be loved. We must make others happy if we would be happy ourselves. We must give if we would receive. And actually, there's one paragraph to go, but there is scientific evidence showing that if you don't feel like, if you are struggling, one of the best ways to get out of that mental struggle is to go and do volunteer work or go do something for somebody else. When you give of yourself, like, it lifts your mood. It lifts it does. And so it's one of the best things to do. If you wonder why I do this in the morning, one, I'm reading good stuff, and two, I'm giving of myself. And I walk away from doing this feeling pretty good. So, I love it. I love it. And I'm really loving reading The Science of Mind. I guess it's been a while since I picked up the book. Sometimes we hug our little good too closely to ourselves, not being willing to cast it on the four winds of heaven, lest it will not return. But Jesus said the very act of giving will at the same time bring us to a receiving. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together and runneth over, he called it. It is the one who gives the most who gets the most. And so let us learn to draw the divine substance down into our lives, and as freely as it has been given to us, let us give it to others. Thus alone we shall be made whole. We shall be made whole. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since I've read I guess it's been a while since I've cracked this book. It's such an amazing book. And like I said, it feels a little more personal, a little more one-on-one, a little more like Ernest is talking more directly to you. A little less theory and a little more practice with Ernest. So that was really good. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So, all right. And now the good news is that it's Sunday. And so we're going to have an amazing, and it's Easter. So, and I'm sure Jesse's got something amazing planned. Yep. So yeah, let's get on to that. So now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, fantastic day, magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, and Easter Sunday. And go be with your community day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a drink plenty of water day, a do what you gotta do day, a take care of yourself day, a take a break day, a take a nap day, a read something interesting day, a read something fun day, a listen to some good music day, a whatever it is you gotta do day. That didn't make sense. And that's okay. You can have a silly day, a good day. And if that's too much pressure, because occasionally I know it is, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You're a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be. Because the divine knows you to be good. It's all the divine knows. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 11. Or 11. No, hang on. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. And we will have an amazing service for you right here on Facebook Live at 11. So if it's after 11, scroll up a video. All right, beloveds, take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.